Happy Friday. It is our last edition of Collider Dailies, and we are going to go out strong with some news, some recommendations, and then we're going to get the opportunity to highlight the A-plus team of Collider Dailies. So you've got a really good 15, 20 minutes ahead of you right now, so you will not be disappointed. Maggie, how are you doing on this fine Friday?
I'm doing pretty good. Thank God it's Friday, right?
Really. I feel like I'm still going to work all weekend because it's
Same.
Abigail weekend. I got a lot of celebrating to do.
So much good stuff coming from that. You got
Yeah,
some
I was
good
very
interviews.
excited when I saw your text and you dug it.
I loved it so much. One of my best friends saw it this morning and texted. It was like 10/10, loved it. I was like, exactly. The girls who get it.
There's nothing better than a bright and early screening of a super bloody and gory movie.
Exactly.
We will begin with Mike K's super chat. Mike, big thank you to all of your support for Collider Daily's run. You've been here. I mean, I feel like almost every single episode, you are our first super chatter. So thank you for being here and saying best of luck to everyone on the Collider Daily's crew on all of their future endeavors. I can't wait to see what lies ahead. I can assure you there will be more for everyone to come. So we will keep you all posted. Now, our official news topic of the day is just like an exciting thing because it is that Prime Video has renewed Fallout for season 2. I can't say this is all that much of a surprise given the popularity of the show. One thing I will say I really appreciate about how this news came out, and for all I know, there's been discussions behind the scenes and maybe they made a decision before it actually broke publicly, but I really appreciate the fact that like the show came out, they let it simmer for like I guess a week now, and then they're like, hey, it's season 2, versus that kind of cart before the horse feeling of announcing it leading up to release, where it puts a little extra pressure on a new show. So I feel like its rollout and this news has been done well.
Yeah.
What do you think, Maggie?
And I love the poster they dropped with the news that Prime Video put out yesterday, a fun tease for what's to come. And I just actually finished the series on Monday. So I'm really excited about this news coming so soon that we don't have to wait months to hear if it's getting greenlit for another season. And to the same point that you made, like not having to go into it knowing there's going to be a season 2 and then like worrying if people won't show up because they'll just wait till season 2 is closer to coming out. There's like a lot of things that go into the minds of viewers with streaming. So I think this tactic with Prime was like absolutely the smartest decision.
Okay, I'm gonna hit you with 2 questions now,
Okay.
and I'd love if everyone in the live chat right now can answer these questions as well. I'm curious to know what you think. No spoilers, of course, because again, the show's pretty new, so we don't want to ruin anything. But I mean, it's pretty obvious that Walton Goggins, Ella Purnell, Aaron Moten are going to continue on with the show. I want to know, who is your favorite character in Fallout Season 1, and which character do you want to see more of in Season 2?
Oh gosh. So I feel like I'm just going to be very, very obvious and say I do love the ghoul. I love
Very on brand.
And it's very on brand for me. And I think his backstory and the way that they played with that so much this season was like, it just made me really interested in that character. But I also think Lucy is probably my like #1 favorite. I think she's the one I like latched onto instantly. And how can you not? She's like just so perfect. And watching her like lose so much of like the naivety is chef's kiss. And I think I want more of Max. I don't think we got nearly enough of him this season. He's obviously a big player, but I think there's still so much we could do with his backstory, where things are going, and his character in general.
Yeah, I'll agree with everything you just said. I do think I have to say Lucy was my favorite character of season 1. I thought Ella Purnell was just pitch perfect in that role. And I know the golden rule can't be applied to everything and anything, but like as someone who deeply believes like to treat other people as I want to be treated, I feel like I immediately attached myself to that character, and like it hurt. It was especially effective watching her step out into the wasteland and realize that, no one else abides by that rule. A lot of like the principles and the goals and the rules she's lived every single waking hour of her life abiding by, like don't apply and also weren't created by the best possible people. Watching all of that crumble, like it hurt. And I know this might take time, but I'm looking forward to seeing how like those things have broken down for her, but how she'll rebuild herself in future seasons. So she's my favorite. I'm looking forward to seeing more of her. Moises Arias deserves way more credit than he's got for playing Nor. When his character was first introduced at the beginning, I'm like, oh no, like he's gonna be a small supporting role. And like I always say, no small roles. Every single role matters in terms of, you know, making a world feel full and real. But I wanted to see someone of his caliber get like maximum screen time. And I was very pleasantly surprised to see where Norm went this season. And like I think he's got one of the most like complex situations to power through, and then also like the complexity of seeing how Moises is able to make it so evident that the wheels in Norm's head are always turning. He just became one of the most fascinating characters to track for me. And in his case in particular, I think there is so much more to mine there.
I absolutely agree. He's such a great character.
He's such a great actor in general. Like I feel like he's obviously very popular. He's gotten many opportunities over the years, but like dude needs to be a household name. I guess maybe like in a different way. Like I feel like he's got boundless potential, and I can't wait to see more from him and Fawn in general. With that, we will jump into weekend recommendations. Maggie, do you want to take this first? What would you suggest our Collider Dailies viewers check out this weekend on the big screen or at home?
I would say I still don't think enough people are watching A Gentleman in Moscow, Ewan McGregor's new series. I reviewed it at the beginning of, I guess, March already, maybe mid-March. And I think we're in week 4 of it. It's a really, really good show, and I need more people watching it because it's warm and cozy despite still being extremely like anxiety inducing. And it's a very, very special show. And I think more people should watch that, especially if you like Ewan McGregor. It's delightful. But in terms of other movies, I mean, I'm still going to recommend Rebel Moon Part 2, even though everybody in the entire world hated it. I saw those Rotten Tomatoes scores this morning, but honestly, are we surprised? And since this is the last episode of Collider Dailies, I mean, I have to still go out riding hard for Zack Snyder's movies. So
doesn't matter what everyone else thinks, as long as, you know, that's how you feel.
Fun, cheesy sci-fi. And as somebody who grew up loving all of the Sci-Fi Channel like shows as a kid and all of the movies, anytime somebody's bold enough and daring enough to go and make their own sci-fi thing, I'm gonna be excited for it. We need more new IP out there, even if it's not the highest caliber.
I always feel like, you know, Rotten Tomatoes and all those aggregates are extremely useful tools if you're looking for a resource to guide your decisions through the week, how you want to spend your time and how you want to spend your money. But ultimately, if you're really looking forward to something, give it a shot on your own, no matter what. Use that information accordingly, and then make your own opinion on something. And then everybody out there should respect it. It's that simple. I feel like everyone's going to know where I'm going to go with my recommendation. So just to give you like a little side recommendation, also because it's been in theaters for, I think, 2 weeks now. So I want to make sure everyone gets the opportunity to see this on the big screen before it starts to like wind down its theater count. Go see Sasquatch Sunset. It's just such a unique experience. If you're looking for something on the big screen that you've never seen before, trust me, you've never seen actors like Riley Keough and Jesse Eisenberg like this before. It's fascinating to just like jump into and be fully enveloped in the Sasquatch day-to-day life. I'm just endlessly fascinated by that movie and so glad it exists. My real recommendation this weekend, though, is Abigail. You're talking about original storytelling. I have to recommend a highly original, extremely well executed, delightfully bonkers, bloody experience like that. One, because it's good. And I genuinely do believe if you go to watch it, you're going to walk out happy, but also because I need a lot of people to see Abigail so we get more movies like Abigail. So we get more studios willing to take risks and trust their filmmakers like Universal seems to have done with Radio Silence. So please go see it. I'm sure you're going to like it. So then hit up my social media accounts and tell me how much you love it after seeing it. Also, because that cast is A+. I'll ask you the same question, Maggie. Who's your favorite character in Abigail?
I have to say Dan Stevens is just so delightfully horrible. And he's just, I think he's one of our most talented like character actors out there. And I always say he is a character actor trapped inside of a leading man's body, because whenever he gets to be that weird little guy, he just goes absolutely crazy with it. And his performance is just so much fun to watch. But I will also say that I do think that Melissa Barrera is like the all-star of that cast. She absolutely holds that entire thing together, and her story is just so good. And I loved her in this movie so much.
Yeah. She's something else. I want to shout out literally every single member of this ensemble. I will say Abigail does not work without what Melissa Barrera is doing in that role, because like, yeah, I'm like down for a wacky bonkers good time, but even those wild, highly comedic horror movies need some sort of like anchor or foundation in order to be impactful and thrilling at the same time. And that's what her performance does. She's able to make it feel like her character is in the same world as other characters saying ridiculous things, but because she's that grounding force, she also keeps that tension intact. So it is a very fun ride, but it's also a very intense one, and I think she gets a lot of credit for that. Kevin Durant, I think, is one of the biggest scene stealers of that movie. I think his cadence, his tone, his line delivery across the board was so incredibly well done. I've seen the movie twice now, and he's gotten some of the biggest laughs each time. I will say though, I think Catherine Newton might have ran away with it for me.
I love her so much.
One of my favorite things about what she does in that role too is that like her character heavily leans into like, you know, the absurd and the silly, and she gets some of the best jokes. She has these moments though of vulnerability and heart and like a very clear show of caring about certain things that makes her feel like a human being though. So watching her like go to the max with the fun, but then have those moments and those moments play so strong. I just loved that combo there.
She's absolutely become one of my favorite actresses after watching Lisa Frankenstein and then this, and obviously Ant-Man and the Wasp last year, you know, Quantumania. She did really well with what she had to do there. But I think just the way that she chooses her roles and the roles that she gets to just be completely like unchained and get to have very fun moments, and also these moments with heart, like you're saying, I think she nails it every time.
For sure. I'll just also take a moment to read Steve's comment here. Angus Cloud was also good in his final screen time he had in the film. I highly recommend checking out his performance in this. And if you want to see even more of Angus's work, a movie that I loved that he's in that premiered at Fantastic Fest last fall, it's called Your Lucky Day. It's available to stream on Netflix. So there's another recommendation for weekend viewing for you. With that, we will bring in the mostly full Collider Dailies team for a little wind down, little wrap up, and as it says on the bottom of the screen, a little thank you. So, John, Adam, come join us, friends. Adam,
captaining us. So
I mean, like, how can I focus with this?
I'm just here to wish everybody a bon voyage.
It's giving Gilligan's Island.
I know.
I gotta sit up straight here so I don't get Mike Wazowski'd by the title.
So we wanted to take a quick moment to kind of like go around the table here and you know, share some stats, celebrate our own hard work, each other's hard work, and just thank you all for sticking with Dailies and supporting us through its run. Who would like to take it first? Stats man, John.
I was thinking that, yeah.
Yeah, you came prepared. You came prepared today.
Yeah, I have some stats, some numbers for the show. So we had a total of 143 episodes across 2 seasons, which apparently was news to the team that we had seasons, but we did. Season 1 was 64 episodes. Season 2 was 79 episodes, including this episode right here. The person who made the most appearances, both hosting and as a secondary, was actually myself with 89 total episodes. Coming in second was Maggie with 76 episodes. Perri is number 3 with 69 episodes. And Steve is in fourth with 36. Of those, our most common sort of non-standard pairing, the standard pairings being Perri and Steve and me and Maggie. Our most common non-standard pairing was Perri and Maggie. They had 18 appearances. They beat out Perri and John, which had 16 appearances. Our least common non-standard pairing was Maggie hosting and John appearing as a secondary, which happened once. Our most common guest second was Arzu Amin, who just barely beat out the voice of God over here, Adam, if we count the Christmas episode. If we don't, Adam is tied with Mike Thomas with 2 appearances.
I have to say, John, not to interrupt you, but that Christmas episode was an all-timer. That was like one of my favorite things like I've ever done in general.
I love that episode so much.
That was a lot of fun. Can I have a little I'm gonna admit something here that I know that Maggie knows. Her Christmas present is 5 feet away from me over there. I shipped it out. It got lost in the mail, and when I got it back, I haven't re-shipped it out. So at this point, it's going to be like a halfway through the year present for her.
Christmas in July.
I feel incredibly bad about it. She's going to get a bunch of extra stuff in that box. Don't worry.
It is okay.
Well,
but with that, I do just want to say thank you, everyone who's watched. Whether you've watched one episode, every episode, doesn't matter. You have my deepest gratitude for giving all of us the opportunity to do this for you every single day. It's been nothing short of the highlight of my career so far. And I'm hoping and excited that you guys tune in to what we all do in the future, because we're all going to keep working. We're all going to keep doing our best to provide the best content for you. So I hope that you stick around and see what's coming.
John, where can people find you after Dailies?
So I am actually going to be, professionally, I'm moving over to our sister site, Screen Rant, for a while. So I'm going to be doing some behind the scenes stuff with their interview team. But you'll also be able to find me on social media at Bender Waffles, just as it says on the screen there. I'm also on YouTube under Bender Waffles, but that's going to be changing next week because that channel name is going to be changing to John Aljets, because I should be using my actual name, like, you know, the person that I am at some point. So you'll be able to find me over there as well. So there's plenty of places to find me.
All right. Who's next? Maggie, Adam?
I'll go next.
Maggie.
I'm so appreciative to all of the people who tune into these episodes every day for the last 143 episodes. I have to say, you know, this was not one of my first on-air experiences, but it has definitely been my most enjoyable on-air experience. Our commenters who show up every single day, and interact with us even outside of the show is just like something that I have come to enjoy so much. But I also have to say it's the behind the scenes stuff with Collider Dailies that has been some of like the highlights of the week. It's like the long conversations in the lead up to an episode, or trying to decide what kind of things we want to do or what sort of fun interviews we want to bring to the channel. You know, the Baldur's Gate 3 stuff, getting to indulge in that was some of the most fun that I've had at work. So it was really fun to get to do that. But most importantly, I've had the absolute blast torturing John on episodes. I've donned beards to dunk on him when he's doing the No Shave November. I've brought puppets on to, you know, freak him out because he doesn't like puppets. And that's the kind of stuff that makes a show like this so much fun. So I'm going to miss getting to torment John in those ways. And I'm also going to miss getting to do episodes with Perri and talking about horror things, and even if they have next stuff, I'm gonna miss doing that. But also, we're all still on social media. You can message all of us for our thoughts and share your own about some of the movies and TV shows that you're passionate about. You know, we're all still here, and you will always be able to find me over on news covering the latest stuff, and you know, trying to grassroots people to watch Rebel Moon.
And you can find the two of us somewhere else next week, right?
This is true. If you happen to be in Calgary, Canada, Perri and I will be there for Fan Expo next week doing some really cool moderation. So be sure to check out collider.com because we will be having breakouts and different fun things from those conversations. So if you're there, come and say hello.
All right, Adam, you're up.
All right. Yeah, I just want to thank everybody who's been watching, whether from day one or I see RWP. They found the show in November, December, and they just kept with it. It's really been a great experience. Like, for those of you who remember me, I used to do the Collider News, and I did that for about 2 or 3 years, and then we switched over to Collider Dailies, and it's just been such a great experience working with Perri and Steve and John and even Maggie, and everybody is just like so wonderful, and the community that we've sort of been able to build up around this has been great. Like everybody who has ever made a comment, I have seen all of your comments and either decided to put them on the screen or just laughed at them and thought, no, this is for me. So thank you everybody who's made comments. Like, we've got, you know, the constant people who are making comments, like Mike K and Steve Calderon and
Arrow Maxwell.
All in the Money. Aaron Maxwell, yes. The Team Money and All in the Game. Yeah. Like, so many great people who have very insightful things to say and really have added to the conversation. And just like, yeah, like we've all been saying, like, behind the scenes, it's also been really great because it's like everybody who has been a part of this show has just wanted it to be the best that it can be, like, from the very start, which has been great. So, like, we've been building it up and making it better and better every time. And my chair is so creaky, and I'm just realizing that now. And it's just, we were always like constantly talking about, like, what can we do to make the next one better and things like that. So whether it was just like changing the way we presented the show, which it looks beautiful now, to talking about like thumbnails and just like the individual sections of the show and things like that, it was all sort of it with the goal of making it better for you guys, but also more enjoyable for us, which I think ultimately it has been just nothing but an enjoyable experience.
Mm-hmm.
I will second that.
Yeah, and like all the stats that John was saying, it was very, like, to hear all of that summarized is very interesting, because like when you break it all down like that, it's like, wow, we really did something here, and and I'm very proud of what we've accomplished.
To echo what you just said, Adam, I really like RWP's comment about this being like a good little community that wasn't a cesspool like some YouTube lives can get. And I think that really speaks to us always trying to make the best product here with Collider Dailies.
Yeah, I can absolutely. Like, the community has been fantastic. I can count on like one hand the number of times where we've had like like someone being like super negative or super like out of pocket. Like, the audience has been fantastic, and everyone has just joined in some fantastic conversations, which to me, I think is going to be probably the part that I'm going to miss the most, is just watching the comments, having even conversations that are only tangentially related to whatever it is that we're talking about. It's always fun.
I mean, speaking of the comments right now, Arrow, this is not a Fallout 4 Captain hat. This is just a hat that I found at a thrift shop like 10 years ago.
It could be a Fallout 4 Captain's hat if he wants it to be, though.
If I want, that's right. When I play Fallout 4,
no one's saying that it can't.
All righty. I'll wind it down here. First by giving a big thank you to the 3 individuals on the screen right now, because I've been through many a show on YouTube at this point, and these shows are, one, not fun to do, but also not possible to do unless you're working on them with other people who are smart, passionate, and truly care and enjoy being there. And I feel like I jumped into this a little afraid of the workload that it would require to bring this from like a little nugget of an idea into an actual show. And the amount of support and the willingness to jump in whenever something like got rocky or challenging from the three of you. Seriously, like A+ work, whatever the future holds. If you three are involved in any type of show like this, like that show is lucky to have you, because you are a big reason why Dailies became what it was. Everyone in the comments, I mean, I'm just going to echo that one that we brought up from RWP, and that you all pointed out here, but these shows also can't happen without strong communities and a ton of support. And you've given us that every single step of the way. And I'll just use this for like a broader message about shows on YouTube, podcasts in general. If you find something that you like that really speaks to you, I highly encourage doing whatever it takes to promote, to comment, to support something so that it can continue to exist. Because like the truth of the matter is the internet is a really competitive space. There's a lot of pressure out there, maybe right now more so than ever. So these things can't continue and go on without that kind of support. So if you find something you love, treat it as such, because we want to keep those things around as long as possible. And man, just like personally, like nothing brings me more joy than having an excuse to talk about how much I love movies and shows every single morning. So really every single opportunity I've had to hop in this little box with you, with Steve, also Lara, lots of love for all the social support that she gave Collider Dailies, because like literally that's like one big element of this that like none of us have ever had to worry about. She was on top of it every single episode, always like posting when the live link needed to go out. And
there she is. She's in
the Love you, Lara.
A+ social support, went above and beyond, was always there, was always consistent. And please know how much we've appreciated you every single step of the way with this. That being said, I will take my opportunity now to promote what I've got going on. And a lot of you know this channel, as of tomorrow, will become Collider Ladies Night. Basically assume that everything I just said about YouTube shows and podcasts apply to Ladies Night. If you watch an episode and you like it, please, please, please share it with people who might not know about Ladies Night. We want to make sure Ladies Night is around until the end of time, and it continues to grow every single step of the way. I'll also give a big shout out to Adam for all of his work on Ladies Night, because that show could not exist and it would not be as strong without his editing work on that. Seriously, Adam, there's so many things that you've done on your own to enhance the show. Just to name a specific thing, one of my new favorite things you do in Collider Ladies Night interviews is how you've made the transition from introduction to like the main interview, something specific to the movie or show. I love the creativity that goes into that, but also just like being a sounding board and a support system for me, because I get in my head. There's a lot of pressure there. And like you always know just what to say to like boost my confidence and spirits and allow me to forge forward with the show. So I appreciate you.
I mean, it's a great show, so there's no reason it shouldn't go until the end of time.
That's the plan.
Everybody needs to watch every single episode of Ladies Night. Share it with every single family and friend that you have. Leave a comment on every single episode, like every episode, post it on every social media platform that you have. It's a fantastic show. Just do it.
Like, subscribe, comment, engage with other commenters in the comment thread. Like, share it on Twitter, share it on Instagram, share it on Facebook, share it on Reddit.
Like, do all the things.
Do all of those things. But like, honestly, like it's an experience for yourself just to watch it. Like,
oh yeah.
Like, I will say, by the time an episode goes live, I've probably watched it 50 times. And I'm never bored, because it's always like just you're watching an interesting story unfold over the course of an episode. And you don't like like you get sort of things like that in other interview series and things like this, but like because Perri is so engaged, it's a completely different experience, and I can't recommend it enough.
Who beautiful.
And I highly recommend the Melissa Barrera interview that just went up last week.
Yes.
It's really good. Or I guess this week.
I just watched that yesterday, and it might honestly be my favorite episode of Ladies Night that I've watched, and I've watched all
First
of them.
member of the
You need to get
club.
some sort of like sash, like SNL style for them to be like, this is my third time.
I was thinking about that. I feel like the next time there's an opportunity to celebrate a milestone, I gotta like go the extra mile and celebrate that a little bigger than I did.
Also, just people need more sashes. Like,
yeah,
really.
That's true. That's true.
I've only got one sash in my life, and I'm feeling very deprived. Like, people need more sashes.
You don't have a sash, but you do have a stash.
Oh boy.
I had to do a pun.
I'm gonna miss this.
Wow.
So I guess in the future we're gonna lead the initiative to bring back sashes somehow, some way, shape, or form. It'll happen. This is where we leave you. But again, it is like, it's not goodbye. We're all over the place. You can find us on social media, on collider.com, on screenrant.com, and right here on this very YouTube channel. So there's going to be a whole lot of great content coming your way. And because I know we're going to wind down the episode with this, Adam put together a phenomenal Collider Dailies trailer that, because we're coming to an end, never got to be used for its original intent. So we decided to end Collider Dailies run with it. And I love the vibe of this piece. I love how well edited it is. So Adam, the floor is yours. And on behalf of all of us in the extended Collider Dailies family from the Collider.com team, thank you so much for going on this journey with us.
All right, here it is, the very final Collider Dailies exclusive. Enjoy.
Welcome to Collider Dailies, everyone. Your daily dose of must-know TV and movie news, analysis, reviews, and so much more.
Good morning, evening, afternoon, whatever time of day it is where you're at. Welcome to Collider Dailies.
So exciting to be back on Collider Dailies and hosting it today.
It's Steve, the man, the myth, the legend himself.